Hey everyone, it's Justine and welcome to day 12 of the 12 Days of Christmas 2017. It is the very last day and I'm a little bit relieved that it's over, even though some of you I know have been looking forward to the videos every day. It doesn't mean it's the end of Christmas videos until the end of the year, but it does mean definitely a little bit of a slowdown. So I'm going to be using two stamps today to celebrate by Winnie and Walter, the Holiday Trimmings and Merry and Bright. And I actually have two of these here in my stash as extras to give away. Thank you, Winnie and Walter, for sending along duplicates. That way I can send out some awesome product to one lucky winner. I'm going to get started stamping the holiday trimmings here using the MISTI stamping tool, and I'm going to be stamping using some Catherine Pooler inks, mainly because solid stamps, especially when they're new, tend to be a little bit finicky the first couple times, and I know I don't even have to bother seasoning them when I'm using Catherine's inks. So I'm going along and I'm going to create sort of a pattern using the trees and this red trim. Kind of reminds me of a holiday sweater. You could, of course, switch these up halfway through, or you could add some of the other trims that come on this stamp set. Really, the possibilities are endless, and the color combinations as well. You can create so many different cool techniques with these background stamps or these trims. They're also really great if you need some great stamps for your envelopes this year for the holiday season. They're wonderful, and I think they would make really great little trims on those as well, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using them a few times on my holiday cards. So once you stamp the entire background, you're good to go. I'll finish off the card at the very end altogether. The next one I did was I went ahead and I die cut a Christmas tree, and I die cut it into some masking paper. Now the idea for this was to create a clean and simple one-layer card in which I would stamp inside of the Christmas tree, pull it up, and reveal a beautiful Christmas tree. And that was the case for the most part until I got some inky fingers. And so I thought to myself, should I even include this part in the video, or should I include this card? And the answer is yes, because I'm human, you're human, we all make the same mistakes, we all get inky fingers, and it happens. So I thought, hey, why not? I'm going to include it. And then maybe give you some tips on how you can fix it. So when you're doing masking, the key is to get as much of the image as possible on the edges so you really get that nice frame. Now, if I were to go back and recreate this card, I probably would use a little bit more solid stamps than the tree because it doesn't always connect directly with the sides and make that very distinct Christmas tree shape when I pulled it up. But that was okay because problem solved when I got too inky of fingers. So I did the pattern all the way up the card using the same colors as the first card. And then here comes the fun part when you can pull up the mask. And here comes the not so fun part when I got red ink all over my background. And it was really funny because it just kept getting worse and worse. I didn't just get one fingerprint, but I ended up smudging things and getting things everywhere. So there's a couple of solutions. I tried using a sandpaper eraser from Tombow, which I'll link to in the video description, and that generally worked until my hands ended up smudging everything. So what I ended up doing was just going ahead, die cutting the actual Christmas tree afterwards instead of just having that one layer on there, and I saved the day. So anything that I had fingerprints on around the outside was saved by just adding the Christmas tree to the front. So you know what, things happen and that's how it is, but it still looks really nice, and the distinct Christmas tree is now there. That is very distinct look on the white on white. It's got a very clear boundary now that I've die cut it versus when I had it masked. So in the end, I think it actually turned out better, and that's generally the case of most mistakes. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I am going to stamp some of my sentiments. So I went ahead and from the Merry and Bright set, they have some really great sentiments, and I stamped the largest one here onto a stitched rectangle background that I had die cut, and it says wishing you a merry and bright Christmas. I like that sentiment. I love the font, and fonts from Winnie and Walter are definitely a specialty of theirs because that's generally all the stamps I own from Winnie and Walter are all sentiment stamps because they're just so great. So I stamped those down, and I love the way that it turned out. It's a perfect size, and I decided to add that to my card front here. And I thought about adding this circular piece on earth to the tree, but I didn't like the way it looked. It took up way too much of the tree. It was way too big. So once I had attached the square rectangle, I added just a very small and subtle "'Tis the Season" that I had just cut out with some scissors actually, and that is from the same stamp set. So now that I have both of those cards finished, all I need to do is go ahead and mount them onto some card bases, and I'm going to call it a day. So I folded up 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 11 by 4 1/4, and I folded them in half at 5.5 inches to create 2 A2 size top folding cards. And then I'm just going to add both backgrounds on there, and they're both going to have a wonderful little white frame around them because my card panels measure 4 by 5 1/4. So here's a final look at the final 2 cards. I hope you enjoyed these very simple cards for the last day, day 12, and that you've been inspired by the series. Don't forget to leave a comment on this video to have a chance to win these 2 stamp sets, and you can have additional entries into the giveaway by heading to my blog for more options. Don't forget to get all your entries for the 12 Days of Christmas in by Thursday night because I'm going to be doing all the giveaways on Friday. If you're interested in checking out those 12 other videos I created, you can go ahead and check out my Christmas playlist, or you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this series, and happy holidays to everyone, whether you celebrate Christmas or not.